Coach, it's Michael and Don. How you doing today?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're doing all right. So how big a win was that for your team on Thursday?
It was big from the standpoint that you didn't want to go 0-2 and lose 2 games in 1 week. And it was big the fact that they swept us last year, and it's a division rival.
Steve Young told us many years ago with this new training format of not having two-a-days that sometimes the preseason extends into the regular season. Do you buy into that? And if you do you think some of the mistakes your team made will just eventually work themselves out once this team gets to 100%?
I would say it does extend into the regular season, but it extends into the regular season for everybody. So there's not like there's a grace period where your team is bad and the other team is good. You just have to try and erase the mistakes as soon as possible. So it extends in there, but that's not an excuse for losing.
How tough was it, Coach, to get over that first game and get your team prepared in such a short period of time?
Actually, it wasn't tough at all because we knew going in that we weren't going to talk about the game, win, lose, or draw. From a player's mindset and a player's psyche, technically Monday was Thursday after we lost to Cincinnati, and the quicker you get them moving on to the next game and getting over their injuries and lingering soreness and those type of things, the better off you'll be on that night, and that's the reason we didn't talk about the game afterwards.
One of the things about the game that struck me, and you eventually answered it on Friday, was not going for 2 on that final touchdown that you scored, and you said that you were distracted a little by the fact that you had to do something on defense. What are the contingency plans, Coach? Is it Brant Boyer, the special teams coach, Chan Gailey, who's been head coach before?
It was my fault. It was my fault. I knew. We talked about it as a staff, and I knew I was going to go for 2, and I got sidetracked and high-headed, and I went off the handle on something on the sidelines, and when I saw it out there, I was too late to take it back, and I should have called timeout and did it anyway, and I didn't, and I blew it. There wasn't nothing that they did. I mean, I was well aware of it, and I just blew it.
Okay. Because I was just wondering, do you have, because I know you can get very easily distracted. You got a lot going on in that sideline. You're responsible for a lot.
They gave me the information, and
right.
I knew the information, and I blew it.
Okay.
Do you beat yourself up over that, Coach?
Just for the moment, and then you move on. I mean, I blew it. I know I blew it. I'm not going to kill myself, though.
Okay. Now, one of the things that was a concern going into this game is that Fitzpatrick had not played well against a Rex team. I believe he was 1-8. 1-8 coming into that, and he might have had his best game ever, Coach. So what was the epiphany with Ryan, if there was one, and why did he perform so well against this Rex team?
Well, I don't know if there was one. I wasn't with Fitz the entire time he's played against Rex, but I know they beat us twice last year, and there could be a lot of things that go into that. And he just came out sharp, and he simplified a few things for him, and the guys made some plays, and it was just his night.
The other thing is Darrelle Revis again getting beat on a long play. Is it a case of just reevaluating, getting him some safety help, or is that something you plan on doing anyway? It's just for whatever reason it didn't happen on those 2 particular plays, the 54-yarder against Cincinnati and, of course, the 80-plus yarder that you saw on Thursday.
I mean, we help everybody back there at some point in time. That wasn't the coverage on that play, but, I mean, he knows he shouldn't have let that one go by, and we gave him that one, and he'll be better going forward. That was just one of them things where he looked in the backfield too long, and, and the guy just kept running. I don't know if he knew he was going to throw it as far as he did, but he did.
All right, now, Coach, I guess the big question then, has he, in fact, lost a step from the days when it was Revis Island? Is that a concern of yours?
No, I don't think it's a concern of mine at all. As you get older, you lose a step, but you gain experience. And I think the play that he got beat on, it wasn't from losing a step. It was just looking in the backfield.
All right, rare Sunday off. Are you sitting there watching the games on television, or you just kind of take a mental health day and just step away from football for a second?
No, I watched the Giants and the Saints game. It was still a mental health day, but I did watch it as a fan.
And with New England losing its quarterback, I mean, when you hear that happens, I don't want to say that you revel in it, but do you right away say that's good for us?
No, not at all. We don't worry about the teams until we play them. So right now our focus is just Kansas City, and we can't control the rest of the league of who gets hurt and who doesn't, because the same thing could happen to us.
All right, what are some of those concerns you have with Kansas City?
Huge defensive line, mobile quarterback, three-headed spear attack running backs, and they have very good defensive backs. It's going to be a tough game.
Now, just getting back to the previous game, Forte had another great game, 30 carries, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. Is there any concern at all, him being an older running back, that you're using him to the point where something could happen there, that you're kind of tempting fate with an older guy?
Not at this time. I know every game's going to be different. He just happened to get the workload this game right here, and we have other players to fill in for those spots and do certain things if we need to give him a break.
Did you expect Quincy Enunwa to have this kind of an impact this early?
We knew he got better from the off-season because he worked his tail off this off-season as far as his feet getting quicker. He stayed on the jugs machine, working on his hands and worked on his movement. For him to come in and step up and take the spot of the third receiver and help us out this game was huge. We were looking for somebody to take those third catches and help out Marshall and Decker, and Quincy stepped up huge for us.
Now, speaking of Marshall, Coach, when he went down and the guy grabbed his face mask, it really looked like a serious injury. How worried are you on the sidelines? I mean, did you get a good view of what happened, and were you concerned?
I saw the face mask, and I saw the way he fell. I was concerned when he laid down. I didn't know, because you see so many injuries happen these days, and right immediately you think knee or ankle or something like that. But when he came back in, that was very encouraging. But when he first went down, I was concerned.
All right, couple of taunting penalties, one on Richardson, one on Decker. Officials too sensitive, especially on the Decker one. Or do you need to talk to your players, especially with an ejection after the second taunt, where you have to remind these players that that's just not something that's going to be tolerated?
Yeah, we talk about it. Emotions were high. We were in a hostile environment. I knew emotions were high. We had to get a handle on that early. You don't want the taunting penalties. You love the excitement, but we can't have those type of penalties.
Decker had another good game. It looks like your offense is a real, with Enunwa, as Don just said, it's a three-pronged offense, obviously with a good running game as well. Is this offense better than you had last year?
It's too early to tell. I mean, we only played 2 games, so we still got to work ourselves into the season to play a bunch more games. And we just hope to get better and better each week.
All right, sacks much different week 1 to week 2. Was there a different game plan because of Taylor's ability to run the ball, or would you like to see them get more pressure?
Well, the game plan was different, but you still like to see him get a little more pressure. And we just tried to keep him in the pocket. We know he would outrun us if he got outside the pocket, so we were kind of almost in a power rush mode, or a mush rush, as you would call it, trying to keep him in the pocket.
Do you feel better about your team going to Kansas City than, was there a loss of faith after the first game? Did you feel not as strong about them as you did coming out of camp?
No, I felt just as strong about them. We just know we made some mistakes and we let one get away. As the season goes on, every game is going to be critical as far as situational football and come down to 2 or 3 plays here or there, and we just got to be better at those situations.
Coach, we appreciate your time. As always, good luck against Kansas City.
Thank you.